Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone. As you can tell, or you may tell, we've gotten a little highfalutin here. On a Friday's AFR, I was criticized by both Ryan Terrio and then when I got home by my wife of wearing t-shirts and looking awful. So, put on a collared shirt. And also, you don't know this, but my phone, which used to be propped up by 2 boxes and a candle, is now on a highfalutin tripod, and I bought a lapel mic, so hopefully better audio quality. We just keep making this better and better and better, and glad that you're spending part of your Saturday here watching Morning Scone. So, LSU baseball, by the way, this is like 6:30 in the morning, so my wife and kid are still sleeping, so I'm kind of whispering a little bit. LSU baseball, they get a 9-3 win in the series opener against Tennessee. Huge. Exactly what they needed on that Friday night for a couple of reasons. Number one, as we talked about, Tennessee pitches backwards. The kid, Garrett Crockett, or Crochet, however you say it, who pitched last night, I've heard it both ways, for Tennessee, he's their worst starter. They kind of pitched their third starter on Friday, conceding because they don't have a hammer, and then they get better on Saturday, and then Will Neely, who's going to pitch Sunday, is their best guy. The most veteran guy, certainly. So LSU did exactly what they needed to do. They jumped on Tennessee for 3 runs in the first inning. Paul Maneri on an intuition. I love it when he does that. Bo Jordan led off for LSU, and Maneri told him, I want you to hit the first pitch over the fence, and Bo Jordan obliged. LSU actually led each of the first 3 innings off with homers, which was so fun. They hit 4 homers in the game. First time they've hit 4 homers in an SEC game since 2013 against Ole Miss, so it's been 5 years since LSU did that in a conference game. So when you have that type of power surge, it's obviously a lot of fun to watch. The kid, Crochet from Tennessee, was just a soft throwing lefty, and he left everything up at the letters, and LSU just jumped on him and pounded him. 8 runs on 10 hits in 2 innings. It was just so fun to watch right out the gate. You got exactly what you needed from Zach Hess. You needed Hess to go deep into the ball game, to preserve the bullpen, so that way you'll have options on Sunday. So follow me here. If this were a tight ball game and you had to go to Nick Bush or Devin Fontenot or any of the arms that you're really counting on that could possibly, or Caleb Gilbert, that could possibly start that game on Sunday, it makes it less likely or makes them less available to extend. So what happened last night was great. Zach Hess got you 102 pitches, got you through 7 innings. They brought in Ted Peterson to pitch the 8th, and he walked 1 guy, but was really overpowering. He hit 96 again, faced 4 batters, so I did not allow a hit. So Peterson got you through the 7th, or excuse me, the 8th, and then the 9th was a bit of an adventure. They put Cam Sanders out there. He walks the first guy, gets 2 outs, then gives up a 2-run bomb. So then they bring in Clay Moffitt, just trying to get through the game. And meanwhile, they had to get Matt Beck warming, which was unfortunate. But Moffitt walks a guy. He actually gets a strikeout, but Nick Coombs got crossed up and dropped the ball, and the kid made it to first. The batter made it to first base. So there were bases loaded. Moffitt came back and got the strikeout, which was great to see. And I'm happy for Clay. We've talked about his story before. It's a great story about how he's just persevered through injuries to his knees and to his elbow, been through surgeries, LSU Eunice, and now is at LSU. So to get a chance to pitch in a conference game for Clay was awesome. But most importantly for LSU, you didn't have to use any of your key arms after Hess. So you go into tonight now with Mikhail Hilliard, and you're hoping Hilliard can get you deep into the ball game like Hess did. And if you need to go to Bush or to Bain or to finish it off, you can. But whatever the scenario, you want Hilliard to go deep to preserve arms and options for Sunday. So what happened on the mound last night was great for LSU. The offensively, the big story was, well, of course, the home runs, when you hit 4 home runs in the ball game. But and let's see, so you had Slaughter hit 2, Bo Jordan hit 1, and Fiducia hit 1. Slaughter's 2 homers are exactly the reason why I've said for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks that Jake Slaughter needs to be in the lineup. And yes, you may point out that Slaughter's batting 200, many of you have. He's right at about 205. And you could say, what? Let's see, he is batting right now 217. And you can say, why do you keep pushing for a guy who's hovering around 200 to be in the lineup? I've mentioned this many times. He started the season in a 1 for 23 slump. He was batting 0.48 or 0.43. Since then, he's raised his batting average 150 points. Yes, he scuffled. Yes, he still strikes out. But from that first 2 weeks to when Chris Reid replaced him, spot at bats and now starting again, Slaughter's average has jumped 150 points. More than that now. If your other option at third is Chris Reid, Reid was batting close to 400, and now Reid is down to 288. Reid's average has dropped 100 points. So you're looking at guys that are doing that statistically. One is improving and one is not. And the other element too is for this LSU baseball team that is struggling to score runs. Despite all batting average on base, all that stuff, LSU is tied with Tennessee, incidentally, for the second fewest runs scored in the entire SEC. So if you're having trouble scoring runs, I want guys with the bat in their hand that can change the game with one swing, like Jake Slaughter did last night. And yes, it's true that the extra base hits have been hard to come by. I think that was only his third homer of the year. Let's see. I'm sorry, it was his fourth. It was his third and fourth homer of the year last night. But he has that potential. And especially now when what you saw last week in the Sunday game against Texas A&M was LSU trying to manufacture runs. If your option is Slaughter or Reid, give me the guy that can hit a double and put himself in scoring position, that can run and can score on a single, or that can go first to third on a single, or with a guy on second can hit a double, or a guy on first can hit a double and score a run, over the guy that's a slap single hitter, which is what Chris Reid is. And it's no knock on Chris Reid. Terrio says this all the time. So he gives you a professional at bat, which he does, and it's fun to watch Chris Reid do that. But he's a double play liability because he doesn't run particularly well. He's not really going to stretch you extra base hits. So if he's slapping a single and he's on first base, to get him home is going to require 2 hits, which has been hard for this team. You can't put action on the base with Chris Reid. So my point is, it's not to insult the guy. It's just to realistically look at what you have in the lineup. And if you bat Reid 8th and you got Hal Hughes behind him, who in SEC play is batting a cool 130, that's almost an automatic out behind him. You're not going to get Chris Reid into scoring position for the top of the lineup to turn over and to get him in. So I guess my point is, it's much harder to score runs with Reid in the lineup as opposed to Slaughter, if you're just playing percentages. So for all those who have knocked Jake Slaughter, my point has been, give me a better option. Give me the better option at third. If you can find it, I'm all ears. But right now it hasn't presented itself. And for what he was able to do last night, and you hope he gets into a groove, that's why you put him in the lineup. So huge night tonight for Mikael Hilliard. LSU can win the series tonight with Hilliard on the mound. The game will be at 8 o'clock. They moved it back because of the threat of weather. My hope really is that LSU just keeps hitting the baseball because, as I mentioned, Tennessee pitches backwards. They got blasted last week by Florida. It was like 22-3 in game 1. Tennessee had a pop fly into the outfield that would have ended the game and won game 2 against Florida, and they dropped it. Florida came back and won in extras, and then Tennessee salvaged game 3 behind Will Neely, who I mentioned is their best pitcher. So, this is a really big spot for Mikael Hilliard to win this game, game 2, win this series, and give yourself a chance to sweep on Sunday out at the box. So LSU and Tennessee game 2 tonight, but all around a really good win for the Tigers last night. Everybody who started got a base hit last night. Antoine Duplantis was quietly 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored. Austin Bain had 4 hits in the game. Austin Bain was 4 for 5, and his batting average is up to 306. So, man, it was just one of those nights where everybody feasted, and it was an awful lot of fun. So tonight's going to be a lot of fun. You got LSU Tennessee game 2 at 8 o'clock, and then the Pels Blazers game 1 is at 9:30 Central Time. Portland is a 5.5-point favorite in this game. I would not be surprised if, with the emotion of the opener, Portland wins the opener. But if you're New Orleans, all you have to do is split the first two in Portland and then take care of home court, and I absolutely think they will. I would probably lean toward Portland, emotion, series opener, all that stuff in their building. I'll probably lean toward Portland tonight, but game 2, I would absolutely pick the Pelicans to make adjustments, especially with 2 days off in between the games, to let them rest, just let them go sprint in game 2, run past Portland, come home, and take command of that series. So game 1 of Pels Portland is tonight up in Portland. We'll certainly be watching, and tomorrow, Sunday morning, we'll have a full recap of LSU Tennessee game 2 and Pels Portland, so we'll hope you'll join us. And I'm considering probably around 4 o'clock this afternoon doing a live whiskey review. So if you're into all that stuff, check social media. I'll be publishing anything about that at some point throughout the day, so just be on the lookout for it. As always, please subscribe if you don't already. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just hit the red subscribe button. You can check out the playlist tab at the top of this page and check out all the different videos. I've added a ton of videos, just different media appearances that I've done that have been floating around YouTube. Some fun videos of stuff that we've been able to do throughout my media career. So anyway, if you want to check it out, check the playlist. It's all there, and my whiskey reviews will be there as well. In the meantime, y'all have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.